What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with this week's very very potential controversial episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now 238 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And who knows, maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners over at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because more than 85% of you guys are watching the content, excuse me, but you guys are not even subscribed, and to top it all off, we gotta get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this: which deck do you guys believe will get first place in this year's World Championship? Let me know down in the comments below. And speaking of Worlds, it appears that there's been some controversy surrounding this year's Worlds in regards to the potential decks that we could be seeing in the format. And honestly, it's excuse me. It appears that we're going to be in for one hell of a format, because obviously you guys had seen the ban list already. If you guys don't know, Fiendsmith's Lacrima got banned. Appaloosa, both guys got banned. Hot Rod Dragon Archfiend King Calamity got banned. Beatrice got banned. And that was pretty much it for that. The cards that got limited to one are Ava, Snake Eye Ash, Snake Eye Popular, number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strains, Chaos number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Dark Strains, Branded Fusion, Opening of the Spirit Gates, Pot of Prosperity, Sangan Summoning, That Grass Looks Greener, and Skill Drain. And then the cards that went up to 2 are all 4 Dragon Rulers, Thunder Dragon Colossus, and Id the World Child's Justiciar. And then the cards that got taken off the list completely are Armageddon Knight, Magic Spectre Unicorn Kirin, Perform Mage Plush Fire, Red Rose Dragon, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Denlong, First of the Yang Zing, and of course Time Seal. Funny thing is that now we're at a point now where Fiendsmith is still playable, but it's not as consistent as it was when Lacrima was actually legal, and it's the same thing with uh with um Snake Eye, where I think Snake Eye, Ash, and Poplar are both three ofs, if my memory serves correct. Especially from what I've been seeing on Master Duel, because almost every time I go on to Master Duel on the iPhone, I'm always paired up with either Snake Eye or Sword Soul or some other dumb bullshit deck that just makes you rage quit, like literally. So, from what I remember, Snake Eye, Poplar, and Ash are both typically at 3. And now that both Ash and Poplar are not banned, are now limited to 1, the deck is still playable, but now it gets to the point where you legit have to use up all of your resources to try and get out Ash, and then go into Popular, and then just combo off from there. Funny thing, I'm kind of surprised that they limited Gimmick, Puppet, Strains, and Dark Strains, given the fact that they could have also limited excuse me. Oh, what's that one card? Argent Chaos Force, I think, because there were some decks. Excuse me. There were some decks that were actually playing rank up Magic Argent Chaos Force, because you can bring it back from your graveyard and then just activate it again and again later on in the duel, which is pretty cracked. Spirit Gaze, I said it before. Spirit Gaze, I'm not that too surprised, because obviously Yubel is still the talk of the town. And funny thing is that Yubel is still playable. It's still playable, but you really don't need you really don't need all 3 copies of Gates. I think for the most part, there were some decks that were only playing like two. So at this point, Yubel is still playable. And then I think now it just comes down to what decks are going to be in the format that brings in the controversy of this year's Worlds, because this year's Worlds starts like either today or tomorrow. Excuse me, at the time of recording and posting this, which will be the same day. So it comes down to what decks are going to be in the tournament, and obviously first and foremost is obviously Yubel. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't limit or ban the main combo piece of the Yubel deck, which I think is Dark Beckoning Beast. I think is the one where that one is the one that gets you to pretty much your whole deck at this point, and then you just combo off from there, and your end board would be Phantom of Yubel, Spirit of Yubel, Yubel the Ultimate Nightmare plus Underworld Goddess, and that's your end board right there, from what I had seen on Master Duel and also on social media. So it's pretty crazy, but at this point now, Snake Eye is it's practically dead at this point. Yes, you can still play it, but you would literally need to use up all of the resources in your hand just to get closer and closer to getting out Snake Eye Ash and Snake Eye Poplar. So you're basically minusing like 6, 7, maybe 8, maybe like 8 cards at best, just to get out 2 cards. That's it. That's it. Where as opposed to Spirit Gaze, all you need is 1 card, and that's Dark Beckoning Beast. If you open with that in your hand, you have full combo. You legit have full combo, and you can get out Spirit Gates really easily. So you really don't need three copies. You only need like 2, and that's it. So at this point now, it comes down to what deck. It comes down to the question of what decks are gonna come in that as I talked about, brings in the controversy. Well, obviously one of the main decks is obviously Dragon Ruler. The biggest issue that players have with Dragon Ruler is that it can work well with Kashtira. So obviously with Arise, I think with Arise Heart still banned, with Arise Heart still banned, the deck can still play, but without Arise Heart, you basically lost your main, not your main win condition, but more of a way to get to your win con, if you will. So you lost one of your big hitters, and even though Cashier is still playable, Dragon Rulers makes it even more dangerous than ever before, and it'll get to a point where players will probably go on social media, bitch about it, and then Konami will look at the deck and realize, oh, we fucked up, let's ban all the Cashier cards and keep the Dragon Rulers, or go the other way around, ban the Dragon Rulers again, and keep the Kashtira card. So that is one deck to definitely keep your eyes on. Another one is obviously full powered Pepe. Yeah, full powered Pepe is gonna be a nasty one, mainly because of the fact that Konami just took off both Kieran and Plusfire plus Armageddon Knight, and funny enough, Armageddon Knight was actually used in a few side decks for full power Pepe, mainly because of the fact that Armageddon Knight can get you to Skull Combat Joker, in which Skull Joker is just a nasty card. It is so nasty. And funny enough, Performer Pal Monkey Board is still legal. So this makes the deck even more powerful than ever before, and it's crazy. It's crazy because without the use of Max C, which is still banned, the deck, funny enough, you can still play it. But I think the only way that you can get a Max C type effect is if you added what's that one card? What's that one card? Shared Ride is the one that I was thinking of. Shared Ride, where with Max C, anytime your opponent would special summon a monster, you get to draw a card. Well, with Shared Ride, anytime your opponent adds cards to their hands, you get to draw a card. So this will be perfect against Yubel and Snake Eye, plus a few other decks that could make their way back into the meta, including decks like Fluendaries, and even also what's that one? Rescue Ace, because those are some of the main decks that do a lot of searching, milling cards, adding cards to the hand. Shared Ride is going to be a nasty card to keep an eye on if it ever does come up, which again, it is very possible, very possible. And the last deck that I wanted to bring up as well, and this was actually part of my top 5 list from I think yesterday's video, or from my video, or in my video from Wednesday, and that is none other than obviously Grass FTK. With Grass legal to legal at 1, this makes things very interesting, because now players are gonna want to build 60 card decks to combat against the Grass decks. And funny enough, there are there are so many ways that you can get to Grass, including cards like Fool's Burial Goods, Fool's Burial Goods, and then I think Seb Magician of Faith. I know that Moth is like a really old, is like an old card, but to be fair, old cards can still be playable in today's meta, which is actually kind of funny. And then obviously once your opponent does get to Grass, they can just activate Grass and combo off from there. And then what they could also do is use Book of Moon, flip down Moth, and then just combo off from there to where you would be able to flip up Moth again to get back Grass, and it would just end in a cycle, and in a infinite loop where you're able to just combo off and just make sure that your board is as dangerous as can be. So decks like Lightsworn perhaps, and also Invoked, Mekk-Knight Invoked were I think 2 of the big hitters that were using that card. And even also Danger Thunder Dragon was another one that came into mind. So there are a lot of decks that bring in the controversy of this year's Worlds, where it's like, once people see these decks come into the meta, once they see these decks, then the opponents are just gonna scoop, go to game 2, and they'll just end up losing altogether. They'll basically just lose the whole match, and those who were playing those decks will end up into the Final Four, and that's where all the controversy will really come into play. So I can almost guarantee that once Worlds comes to an end this coming weekend, we're definitely going to be we could potentially be getting an emergency ban list, where with the next YCS, I believe the next YCS is I think it doesn't come up until October. Here we are, YCS. The next YCS will actually be the team YCS in Santiago, Chile, on the 28th and the 29th, and then the regular YCS, we're gonna be getting that in Cancun, Mexico, next month on the 5th and the 6th. So we're definitely gonna be we're probably gonna be having an emergency ban list between now, and I would probably say the YCS that will take place right around the end of the year in Anaheim, California, which I'm almost certain within that time frame we're going to be getting a ban list that will completely shatter that could potentially shatter the entire meta for good. Like I'm talking about shattering the meta from meta, kind of like what they did in 2020 right before COVID started, which they purged every single deck in the entire game, in the entire format. And if you guys do not remember that one, then you guys ought to check out those videos that were filmed by guys like myself and Simo. Check out those videos. It was crazy. But again, obviously this year's Worlds, with those decks that I mentioned, there's gonna be a lot of controversy, and I'm honestly kind of worried. I'm kind of worried that we might end up getting an emergency ban list where all the decks that were in the tournament are gonna get purged, and players are gonna think, what do we do now? What deck can we play that makes it meta? You know, so it will be interesting, but honestly, it's gonna be a tournament to remember. So with that being said, that will do it for this week's episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.